Hello guys. So here we are going to learn how to deploy Java chart on AWS EKS using GitLab CI CD. So as you can see, this is my repository, GitLab repository with the name deploy Java chart on AWS EKS using GitLab CI CD. Right. So here, as you can see, this is my article. So we are going to follow this. So first of all, here you can see prerequisites, right? So let's check the prerequisites. So first of all, we need a GitLab account. Then we need a EKS cluster access, right? So here I have created the EKS cluster, right? Then we need a GitLab runner, right? And in GitLab runner, we need a pre-install Helm, right? So let's check. So here I have successfully installed Helm. So let's check how to check. So the command is helm version. So as you can see, we have successfully installed Helm, right? Okay. So now we have GitLab account, we have EKS cluster with access, then we have GitLab runner, and in GitLab runner we have installed Helm. After that we need the Helm chart with update files. Okay, so we will create our Helm chart and we will update our files. Right? Okay. So now let's check the first step. So the first step is create project with GitLab. So as you can see here, this is my project with the name deploy Java chart on AWS EKS using GitLab CI CD, right? Okay, so we have a project, right? The next step is install GitLab Agent for Kubernetes cluster. So how to install? So here you can see the steps. So first of all, before creating agent config file, your agent is empty and you can check in operate Kubernetes and cluster. So how to check? So let me show you. So let's go to the operate and then Kubernetes cluster. And here you can see our agent, right? So if I click on connect a cluster and if I click on this right drop down, so as you can see, no matching result, right? So that now means as of now we don't have any agent, right? So we need to create agent. So how to create here? So let's follow the 2.1 step, create an agent configuration file. So how to create? So firstly we need to create an agent configuration file. So the configuration file location like this. Firstly we need to create GitLab folder. In folder we need to create Git agents folder, then agent name folder, and then config.yaml file. And you need to remember this note. Here, agent name is your EKS cluster name. That means our location like this dot gitlab slash agent slash and your EKS cluster name. So my cluster name is sample. So my location like this dot gitlab agents then slash sample slash config.yaml file, right? And here is our config.yaml file. So first of all, let's create and then we will understand this config file code. So let's create the config file. So go to the code and repository, and here let's create a config file. So click on new file. So here let's create our config file. So my location like this. You can see .gitlab folder, then agents, then samples, my EKS cluster name, and then config.yaml file, right? So let's create using this code, right? So let's copy. Okay. So now let's understand first. Here we need to make three changes. As you can see here, First of all, here you can see in your configure.yaml file, you can add this code, and here we need to change as project ID, then branch, then namespace, and path of your globe file, right? So here, first of all, let's change our branch. So our branch is main. Then next is default namespace. So I'm going to change it default. Okay. Now ID. Right, so here we need to enter our project id. So how to check our project id is for here project overview. So I'm going to open a new tab. So as you can see, project id, right? So let's copy our project id and paste it. Okay. Okay, so now let's check. So first of all, here our ID, then branch, then default namespace and path, right? So here I told you the globe file, right? So here, as you can see, our globe file. That means here we will set the part of our globe file. As of now, that's it. Okay, three changes: ID, branch, and default namespace. Okay, then commit changes. So now, as you can see, we have successfully created our agent file, created our agent, right? You can see the file has been successfully created. So we have successfully created our agent, right? Okay. So now let's check the second step. That means 2.2, register GitLab agent with Kubernetes cluster. So how to register? So first of all, here you can see note. If you want to create a configuration file with CI CD default type name, if you already have an agent configuration file, then select it from the list. Okay. So go to the operate. Go to the operate and go to the Kubernetes cluster. And let's check our agent, right? So we have successfully created our configuration file. Now if we click on this drop down, so let's click on connect to cluster and let's click on drop down. As you can see, our agent name, that means our EKS cluster name, right? Remember this, your agent name is your EKS cluster name, okay? Sample. Now click on register. Okay, so now you can see connect a Kubernetes cluster, right? Your agent access token, and the agent act uses the token to connect with GitLab. You cannot see this token again after you close this window, so you need to copy these commands, right? So we need to run these commands on our terminal, right? So first of all, before run this command, we need a helm, right? We need a helm. So that's why here I mentioned in prerequisite we need to install helm, right? So that's why I have installed helm. So let's copy this commands and run on your terminal. So we have install helm, right? So that's why we are going to run these commands. Okay, so let's clear the screen first and let's run these commands to connect to a cluster, sorry, agent, then helm repo update. Okay, now the command, third command. So third command from here to here. Okay, So in this command, there is a token and address and tags and namespace and so on, right? Okay, it's done. Now, if I click on close, as you can see, never connected, right? So let's refresh the page. Now, as you can see, it's replaced to connected. Last connected just now, right? You can see last contact just now, right? So it's done. We are successfully connect to our agent, right? Okay. Now the next step, let's see the next step. Now the next step is register runner with GitLab project. So here I have already registered my runner. Okay. So if you don't have any register runner, then you can run the command like this. You can see sudo GitLab runner register. Okay, then here you can see it will ask your URL, then you can copy the URL. If you don't know how to install GitLab runner and how to register your GitLab runner, then you can follow my article here, how to install GitLab Runner on Ubuntu. So you can follow this article to install GitLab Runner and how to register your GitLab Runner. You can see. And if you don't know how to create your cluster, then you can follow this article. As you can see, how to create Amazon EKS cluster using EKS schedule. Okay. So you can follow these both articles to create EKS cluster as well as install GitLab Runner and register runner. Okay. So I have successfully registered my runner. Okay. Now the next step is here how to add GitLab container registry secrets in EKS. Okay. So here we need to add secrets in register container registry. Okay. So how to add? So here is the command. So how to add GitLab container registry secret in EKS deployment.yaml. So here is the command. But if you check this command, here we need a username as well as we need a token. So which username and which token, right? So here go to the GitLab project and here we need to create deploy tokens. So how to create? So go to the settings, then repository. Then here you can see deploy tokens. Deploy tokens allows access to package your repository and registry images. So click on expand and here we need to click on add tokens. So here enter token name. So my token name will be EKS and it's optional. It's also optional. Then I'm going to select this all. At least one choose. Okay. So I'm going to select all and click on create deploy token. So okay, it's done. Now you can see our token is created. So I'm going to copy my token username and I'm going to paste in my notepad. So we need to store. And for that, the token as well. Okay. So it's done. Okay, we have successfully create our token and you can see. Okay, now it's done. Now let's let's run this command to add secrets. So I'm going to copy the command and paste in my terminal. And here let's enter first token here, right? Then after that, username. Okay, let's run the command. Okay. Now to apply, The command is like this kubectl apply -f and your file name that we have stored. You can see the file name registry credentials.yaml, right? That's why here the command is like this kubectl apply -f registry credentials.yaml. So as you can see, secret registry credentials created. Okay, it's done. Now let's clear the screen. Okay, it's done. Now we have successfully created our secret. Now the next step is update your Helm files, right? So we need to update our Helm files. So first of all, we need to create our Helm chart, right? In my prerequisite, I mentioned we need a Helm chart with updated files. So right. So here first of all, we need to create Helm chart. So let's create. So the command is like this. If I run the ls command, as you can see, there is no any Helm chart as of now, right? So we need to create. So let's clear the screen first. So the command is like this helm create your chart name. So my chart name will be Java chart. As you can see, creating Java chart. Now if I run the ls command, as you can see our chart, right? Java chart. Okay. Let's clear the screen first and let's go to the Java chart. Run the ls command. So here values.yaml file. So let's insert the values.yaml file using sudo nano values.yaml. So here we need to change this. So first of all, repository. Here we need to change our repository. So our repository name, our repository, here we need to enter our repository URL. So how to enter, how to check our repository URL. So here go to the deploy, then go to the container registry. So as you can see here in container registry, if I scroll down, you can see here registry GitLab and the URL like this. Registry.gitlab.com, then DevOps in Kubernetes, and then our project name, right? So this is our URL. So I'm going to copy this and paste here in repository, right? So first, because here we are going to build our image, then we are going to push this build image. We are going to push into this repository, right? So that's why our image is in this repository. So that's why here we are going to mention this URL. Then next is tag. So tag is latest. Okay. Now next is here I'm going to comment this image pool secret. Firstly, I'm going to comment this image pool secret and to mention this image pool secret here. Okay. Now was that image pool secret? If you remember, now we have created our registry credentials.yaml file, right? That is our secret. We are creating our secret, right? So we need to mention this secret, right? So that's why here I'm going to use this image pool secret, and in image pool secret I'm going to enter a name, and our secret name is registry credentials, right? If you remember, we have create this secret, right? So that's why here we are going to use this. Okay, now the next changes is here we need to enter the target port and protocol here. Let's go to the scroll down. here in service. And after that, here we need to replace this cluster IP with load balancer. Remember this is important. Okay, we need to replace this cluster IP with load balancer as you can see. Okay, okay, that's it. Now let's save the file. Okay. Now the next step is we need to update our deployment.yaml files. Let's inside the templates and if I run the ls command, you can say deployment.yaml. So let's inside the deployment.yaml using sudo nano. Okay. So now we need to check two changes here. So let's scroll down. So first of all here in container port here we need to change container port values dot service dot target port. Here replace this value service port only, replace with target port, right? Okay, and next step is here we need to add this. Okay, if you don't have in file this image pool policy, then we need to add. Why? Because in values.yaml file we need to mention this image pool policy. That's why here we need to mention this, right? Okay, it's by default, but in case if you don't have, then you need to add this. Okay, now let's save the file. Okay, wait. First of all, in deployment.yaml file, there is three changes, sorry. First change is container port, right? That means you need to replace this port with target port, right? And then if you don't know this, don't have this image pool policy, then we need to add this dot value image pool policy, right? It's by default, but if you don't have, then you need to add this. Now the next changes is here in path. We need to set the path here. Okay, we need to set the path. Which path? Our file path. So here you can see this is my image. Which image? I'll show you. Okay, in path we need to enter this image hello slash 1.0 and here also. Okay, in both sides. Okay, now let's save the file and exit. Okay, now let's check changes third YAML file. Which file? Service.yaml file. So let's enter sudo nano service.yaml file. So here I'm going to remove these three names: target port, protocol, and name. And here let's enter this. Okay. Okay, now it's done. Let's save the file and exit. Okay, it's done. So we have successfully updated our three files, right? Values.yaml, then deployment.yaml, and then service.yaml file. Okay. So in deployment.yaml, we have set the path, right? Our file path. So what's that path? So first of all, here, this is our Java project. Create our Java Helm chart, right? If I run the ls command, we have successfully create our Helm chart and we have successfully update our Helm chart files, right? That means Java chart files, right? Here we have successfully update our values.yaml files, deployment.yaml files, and service.yaml file. Right? Okay. So now after that, um, after that here, if I go to the my article, you can see after that we need a add variables, right? We need to add variables. So first of all, here go to the repository, and how to add variables. So go to the settings and CI CD and click on variables. You can see the variables store information like password and secrets key that you can use in JavaScript and so on, right? So here we need to add our variables. So which variables you can see here? First of all, here we need to add CI deploy user, our right, then deploy password, then CI registry. So what is this CI deploy user? That means our deploy token user that here we have use this for create secret, right? Then password for this part, that our token, right? Then registry. Okay. So let me show you. So first of all, click on expand and click on add variables. So let's create add variables for CI deploy user. That means our username here. Then remove this protect variable flag and click on add variable. Then after that, the next variable is CI deploy password. So here is a password. Remove this protect variable flag and click on add variable. Now the third is CI registry here. So how to find registry, that means URL. So if you remember, we are going to this deploy and then container registry. And then you can see the URL here, registry.gitlab.com, then DevOps and Kubernetes and their project name, right? So they can copy this and paste in this value. That's our CI registry. In this protect variable flag and add variable. Okay, so now we have successfully created our three variables, right? Okay, it's done. Now, the next step is if I go to my code and go to the repository, as you can see here, this is our Java project, but here we don't have any Java files. So we need a Java files first, right? So first of all, we need a Java files. So that's why here, first of all, I'm going to clone my repository to add some Java files. So let's open Git bash. Now let's clone our repository first, right? So here enter the command git clone and your repository HTTPS that you have copied. So it's cloning. Okay, it's done. Now let's open this. Go to the C drive, users, administrator, and here is my folder, right? Okay. As of now, we have this .GitLab, then agents, then sample, and then our config.yaml file. Right? Okay. So now here we need to add our Java project. So here I have a Java project. So here I'm going to use these files. Okay. So now it's done. As you can see, we have successfully added our files. So let's push this code into our repository. So how to push? So open git bash. So first of all, let's inside our repository. So enter our repository name CD, then deploy Java chart on AKS using using GitLab CI CD. Then enter a command git add dot, then git commit hyphen m, and in double quote our commit will be files added, then git push. Okay, it's done. Now let's refresh the file and let's check our project. Okay, so as you can see, our project, this is our Java project, right? Okay, we have successfully added our Java project. Okay, so now here in my terminal, we have create our Java chart. That means we create our Helm chart and we have update our files. So now we need to push this code into our repository, right? We need to push this Helm chart. That means Java chart into our repository. So how to push? So let's clone our repository here first. So let's copy the HTTPS. So let's clone our repository. Sorry, HTTPS. So enter a command git clone, paste the HTTPS. It will ask our username. So my username is DevOpsInt. Then password. Okay, it's done, my friend. The list command, as you can see, our project. So I'm going to inside my project. So here, if I ls command, as you can see, our files. If I run the ls command, you can see our files, docker files. If I run the ls hyphen a command, so it will show our hidden files. Okay. Okay. Now let's clear the screen first and let's run the ls command. Right. Okay. Now here we need to install Maven. Right. So if I run the let's install Maven. So here I have already installed Maven using this command sudo apt install. Right, you can see, yeah, I have already installed Maven. After that, here we need to run the mvn package command. Okay, now let's clear the screen and now run the ls command. After that, we have we got the target folder. You can see target, right? Now let's inside the target folder and the ls command, right? You can see our image. Which image? Hello 1.0, right? So that image name we need to set the path on our deployment.yaml file, right? If I go to the Java chart, and as you can see here, we set the path here, that image path, right? Okay. So now we are successfully run this command, right? And here we got this target folder and our image, right? Okay, so now we need to copy this Java chart into our repository. If I go to my repository, as you can see, there is no any chart, right? So now we need to copy this chart and paste in our repository folder. So let's copy the Java chart. So run the command sudo cp-r, then Java chart, and then dot colon and our folder repository. Now let's inside the repository and on the ls command, as you can see, Java chart. Okay, so now let's push this code into our GitLab project here, right? So now here we have target folder, we have Maven, and we have this Java chart, right? So we need to push this code into our repository. So as you know, the command git add dot, then git commit m in double quote our commit. So our commit will be chart added. Then git push. It is our username. The username is DevOps, and then password for. Okay, it's done. Now let's check. Go to the repository and refresh the page. So as you can see here, Java chart, then right. So that means you have successfully pushed this code into our repository. The target folder is hidden. Okay, so that's why here not showing. It's hidden. So as you can see our Java chart, right? Okay. Now it's done. Now the last step is our .gitlab.ci.yaml file. So let's create our YAML file. So click on new file. Now let's create our YAML file, right? .gitlab.ci.yaml file. So here is our YAML file. So I'm going to copy and let's understand the code. So our file name is .gitlab.ci.yaml file, and let's paste this code. And now let's understand the code first. So first of all, variables. So here our repository name is DevOps, image tag is latest, and cube context. So here we need to add a cube context. So where is our cube context? How to find? So here is our cube context URL from here to here. That means our project URL, and then colon, and then our agent name. My agent name is sample, right? Okay. Then default before script Docker information. After that stages Docker build, Docker push, and deploy to EKS, right? So first of all Docker image. So here stage Docker build and before script login to CI deploy user. That here we have add this variable, right? That means our deployed username, sorry, token username and CI deploy password. This is our token sorry a deploy token, right? Then CI registry here in our container registry. So we have successfully added the three variables, right? Then here I'm going to add MVN clean package, right? That we have run here, MVN package, right? So here I'm going to add this here in before step. Then in this stage we are going to build our image, then push registry. So here in this stage we are going to push this image into our registry, right? Then in last stage we deploy to EKS. Here our image and the tag is latest here, and here in before script here we are going to use this cube context, and after that here we are going to install helm, right? We are going to install helm java dot and then slash then our chart name. So our chart name is java chart, so that's why here I mentioned java chart. Okay, so now here after the before run this, before commit changes, here you can see Docker, right? So that's why here we need to install Docker on our terminal. So that's why here if you check Docker images, so here I have already installed Docker, right? So that's why here there is no error. So you need to install Docker first, and after that you need to give some permissions. Which permission? So here the first permission is like this, sudo user mode and so on. And the second permission is here, sudo chmod 666. Right. So now it's done. So now let's commit changes. And now as you can see, our file is successfully created. So let's check the pipeline. So as you can see, our first stage is passed. Now is in second stage. So let's check. So as you can see, it's running, and you can see our second job also succeed. Okay, now let's check the third stage. So as you can see, it's running. So as you can see, job succeed. It's also succeed, right? Okay, now go to the terminal, and here let's check the pods, right? So how to check? So the command is like this: kubectl get pods. Container creating. So wait for a few seconds. It's creating. Now, as you can see, if I run the kubectl git pods, you can see the status is running ready one of one, as you can see. Now let's check the deployment. So you can see it's available ready one of one, up to date available, and the age is 71 seconds ago, right? Now let's check the service. So as you can see, the name is Java chart, type load balancer, cluster IP, external IP port, and so on. Now let's copy the external IP and hit on browser to check our image, right? To check our image is deployed or not. Wait a second. After that, here you can see, after that, after copy this external IP, we need this image also. So if I go to my deployment dot folder and go to the target folder, command. So that's our image name, right? So we need to enter this image name also. Wait a few seconds. It takes few seconds. So as you can see our image, right? You can see our image. So this is our image that we have built, pushed to our GitLab registry. Then we are going to deploy this image into our app, AWS EKS using GitLab CI CD, right? So that's it. So here we have learned how to deploy Java chart on AWS EKS using GitLab CI CD. So thank you for watching.